Musk's anti-woke sentiments were partly triggered by the decision of his oldest child, Xavier, then 16, to transition. "Hey, I'm transgender. My name is now Jenna," she texted the wife of Elon's brother. "Don't tell my dad." Again, Wall Street Journal, the excerpts. When Musk found out he was generally, well, he didn't want to accept it, I suppose. But then Jenna became a fervent Marxist, broke off all relations with him. She went beyond socialism to being a full communist and thinking that anyone rich is evil. The rift pained him more than anything in his life since the infant death of his firstborn child, Nevada. "I've made many overtures," he says, "but she doesn't want to spend time with me." If we could pause there, listen, as a parent, I can't imagine the pain of losing contact, falling out of favor for good. I mean, when a kid says, "I don't like you," or uses the H word, hate, I know it's gonna pass, okay? You're gonna want a cookie or something from me, and we're gonna get back together and be in love again, okay? I love you, you love me. But he must be in pain. However, I would always try to repair. He says he has, Jordan. But what is he doing here by blaming her very essence, her being, who she says and identifies with, on the outside world, indoctrinating her?
Just totally removing agency from his daughter. She's free to be who she wants, live how she wants, think how she wants. Someone who, in her instance, is proximate to at some points, the wealthiest person on the planet. She's a pretty good view into the life of the ultra wealthy. And that's something that she wants to repudiate. That's fine, good for her. I mean, he's upset that she doesn't want to talk to her. Well, maybe because he's spent the past couple of years espousing anti-trans views, exhibiting the worst attributes of capitalism and hyper-capitalism, and rebuking any attempts or suggestions or proposals for a more fair tax structure. This is something, again, she has a very clear view into that world. So good for her. She's allowed to do what she wants. I have zero sympathy for Musk.
But you're talking about personal experience, and Cenk, I want to get to you because he says this is LA's fault and a particular school that this ideology he felt that Jenna imbibed at Crossroads, that progressive school she attended in LA. Twitter, he felt, had also become infected by a similar mindset that suppressed right-wing and anti-establishment voices. Personal experience versus this school that allowed free thought.
Yeah, so look, I want to clarify a couple of things. First of all, Elon Musk is calling his own daughter, Jenna, Marxist and communist. She never said that she was Marxist or communist. He's using these, extreme words. I have no idea what she actually is, and if she wants to adopt that, great, no problem. But he's just putting that label on her. Doesn't seem like a great strategy for trying to get her back. And saying that her mind was captured by others, also not a great strategy for reconciliation. In terms of the schools, look, I've got a little bit different opinion here than either side, right? So I think that there's bubbles in the world, and then a lot of us live in bubbles, and the thickest bubble is the one you're in, because it's the hardest one to see. And so he's in his own bubble, and he's entered this weird right-wing bubble, and he thinks that, well, anyone who doesn't think that we should have out of control, unregulated capitalism, which in essence is corporatism, if you ask me, is a Marxist and a communist. And he thinks that's normal. Why won't she just act normal and just love unregulated, massive income inequality, right? And then I don't know what she thinks because we have no idea. She hasn't said anything publicly, but I do know generally. Is it true that some of the private schools in LA are more progressive? Yeah, it is true. Okay, and so is there a certain culture there? Yeah, there probably is. So what's the correct way to go about that? Is it to say your culture is wrong? Okay, my culture is correct. No, and by the way, also true if I'm not commenting on Jenna at all because we don't know a single thing about her. But let's say that you're a kid in a similar situation and you don't like the way that your parents think about the world. So try to engage both sides. Try to engage and understand that you might be in different bubbles, and maybe look at it from the other person's perspective a little bit and have conversations and dialogue. And obviously that didn't happen here, and it didn't happen on either side. I'm certainly not blaming Jenna. I mean, if you've got a dad who's attacking your own identity, that's a tough pill to swallow. And so it's not on her necessarily to re-engage, but as much as I these days dislike Elon Musk and his politics, it does break my heart a little bit that they can't even see straight. They can't even see what the problem is, let alone get to the answer. Does that make sense to you guys, or am I being?
No, it makes total sense. Don't you find, and whether it's parenting or something else, that when you dig in and you can't listen at all, I actually learned from my daughter, and you can evolve and change your thinking, not all the time, but when you force someone to stay on that side because you won't hear anything and you're always right, how does that work out?
And guys, our cultures change all the time. Human culture evolves. And in fact, as the old saying about the only thing that remains constant is change. And so I write about that in my book, Justice is Coming. One of my theses is that progressives always win because conservatives don't want any change. Well, sad day for them. That is never going to win in the long run, right? And so us parents have to be a little bit more humble and realize, their culture is evolving and changing. And maybe it's evolving for the better. Let me listen in. Maybe not everything new is wrong. And of course, the kids should also do the likewise for their parents. Not everything old is wrong either.
You say that again? I want to make sure my daughter catches that, catch it on the rerun. Yeah, it's hopefully they'll get back together, but he's got to meet her. He's got to meet her where she is. And you were right to correct that, because that's the other thing. Why speak on your child and put it out there? If she wants to, then she could do it. Why are you doing it? That just kind of troubles me, but he's dealing with a lot these days.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.